Welcome to the Golden Market Report. I'm Graham, and today we are welcoming President and CEO Simon Dyakowski of GSP Resources Corp. GSP Resources trades on the TSXV under the symbol GSPR. Today, Simon will be sharing an overview of the company and highlighting some important points from their 2022 news releases. Simon, thanks for joining me today. Please give us a brief overview of GSP Resources.
Well, hi, Graham, and thanks very much for having me on your program. It's great to be chatting with you today. So GSP Resource Corp, as you mentioned, we're listed on the TSX Venture Exchange under the symbol GSPR. We're what you would consider to be a micro-cap exploration company, and we're focused on two projects within Southwestern British Columbia. Our focal point right now is the Alwin Mine Project. The Alwin Mine is a past producing, high-grade copper, silver, gold project in that order. And it's in the famous Highland Valley camp of British Columbia. And the Highland Valley camp is where Teck Resources is operating the Highland Valley Copper Mine, which is the largest open pit mine in Canada for metals. Yeah, so we're in a great location, and we've been working on the project for a couple of years. We've drilled approximately 4,000 meters into the historic mine, and we're looking to prove out a new resource model at the Alwin Mine.
Looks like a very historically rich area. What would you say is the most important thing the team has learned about the property this year?
So over the past year, we've done some more drilling. We've successfully expanded some of the mineralization out to the north, and then previously in 2021 we expanded it to the south. But right now, our latest news release put out back early in November of 2022, we indicated that we are moving forward with a new geological team. And at the present moment, they are doing a deep dive on all of the data that we've collected in our drilling, and also in the historic drilling of previous operators of the mine. So, I think it's worth pointing out that this was in small scale production back in the 1970s and 80s. There's been hundreds of drill holes into this project, and only about 220,000 tons of material was actually mined from the underground Alwin Mine. So our goal right now is to go through all of that historic data, and we've actually come into possession of more data recently, and we're building a new computer model of the historic mine, and that's going to guide our exploration in hopes of finding more mineralization going forward. So that's kind of work that we're doing quietly over the winter of 2022 into 2023, and we expect to have some updates out to the market over the first quarter of 2023 with some of the findings that our new geological team, our new geological consultants have uncovered, and then communicating our plan to continue advancing the project through the next year going forward.
So at the end of October, that was when, the company announced a recent collaboration with the Apex Geoscience team. What's the goal of this partnership?
So we've hired Apex. They're a well-known company based out of Edmonton, and they've worked on a number of high-profile projects. We like the work that they've done with their existing clients, and they have good experience on projects that are maybe a little bit more advanced in terms of the work that's been done. So the Alwin Mine was in production, so you could consider it to be fairly well advanced from that perspective. But again, only partial production. It shut down in the early 80s when the copper price dipped down below 60 cents a pound in 1981, and hasn't been mined on a commercial scale since. So with copper over the past 3 years, improving in price from a range of in the low twos, around 17, 18, getting up to closer to $5 a pound in 21. It's backed off a little bit now to around 370, but very healthy levels in comparison. And we're very optimistic about the price of copper going forward over the next decade. Really, there's a very well documented supply crunch developing in the copper space. There's not a lot of new projects going to production, and there's a constant demand, a growing demand for more copper in the world for various inputs. So we are very enthusiastic about hopefully expanding this historic mine and proving out more resources.
Nice. Yeah, this sounds like a lot of what I'm hearing about commodity super cycles and copper being an integral part of that, right?
Copper is always mentioned in the super cycle discussion, and it's I've noticed that historically that base metals such as copper, real enthusiasm has kind of followed the precious metals cycle, and we're speaking today in early December 2022. Just in the last really 6 to 8 weeks, the gold and silver, the precious metals market has woken up. I mean, it's up significantly from its lows in August and September, and if the precious metals continue through rebounding into 2023, you could say it's a safe bet that base metals like copper will follow, and that's really exciting for us because we do have an established copper project in a mining friendly jurisdiction like British Columbia, in a famous mining camp adjacent to a very, very large mine. It's a great place to be exploring.
So as we go into 2023, what can investors keep their eyes on from GSP Resources?
So heading into the new year, we will have some findings from Apex, and those findings will guide our exploration program for the next year. We do hope to be back on the ground exploring in the spring. So, April, May timeframe, we'll have access to the ground once the snow melts. So it's really only a quarter away, and we have a lot of office work to do in the meantime in terms of better understanding this historic data set that we've come into possession of. So we'll have a few updates out on that, and then we'll be back to our on the ground exploration, which is the exciting part. And I'd like to mention as well that one thing that investors could look forward to without any news is the fact that we only have 20 million shares outstanding currently.
Wow.
So it's a very tight share structure. The company's been around for about 4 years now, but we've been able to really limit our dilution. So we have that, I think, is a very strong advantage to our company.
Well, thanks, Simon, for joining us. We'll continue to watch you closely as the GSP Resources footprint continues to grow. Are there any last words you'd like to leave with the listeners?
I'd just like to thank you for the opportunity to present a little bit and introduce GSP Resource Corp. I think 2023 is going to be an exciting year. Our shareholders have been very patient, and unfortunately, we got caught in a bit of a bad commodity market in 2022, but we're optimistic about the prospects of both the macro picture and at the project level as well for 2023. So we appreciate the opportunity to come on and talk a little bit about the story.
Thanks for your time today. We look forward to more news from the company. Have a great day.
Thank you very much, Graham. Bye.